All right, you firearm fanatics, get ready to salute the M1 Garand, the rifle that made the bolt actions look like they were stuck in the Stone Age. This semi-auto legend didn't just change warfare, it swaggered onto the battlefield like a cowboy with a chip on his shoulder, spitting lead faster than you can say freedom. From a Canadian brainiac's bright idea to the rifle that helped win World War II, this is the tale of the M1 Garand. 8 rounds of American grit that made enemies run, and gun nerds still drool over. So park your tank and grab a cigar. My name is Dwayne. This is Hunt, Shoot, Live. Let's dive into some gun history. The M1 Garand story starts in the aftermath of World War I, when armies began to realize that bolt-action rifles, while they were certainly reliable, they were as slow as a mule in mud compared to potential of semi-automatic designs. So enter John C. Garand. He was a Canadian-born engineer working for the U.S. Army's Springfield Armory. In the 1920s, Garand began tinkering with semi-auto prototypes, aiming to replace the M1903 Springfield bolt-action rifle. His design used a gas-operated system where gas from the fired round cycled the action to load the next shot. No bolt cranking required. By 1932, Garand's rifle, officially designated the U.S. rifle caliber .30 M1, was tested against competitors, and it won out thanks to its reliability and an innovative in-block clip that held 8 .30-06 Springfield rounds. Loaded in one go. The U.S. Army adopted the M1 in 1936, making it the first standard issue semi-automatic rifle for a major military. Early models had some quirks, like a gas system that needed tweaking, but by 1937 production was rolling and the M1 was ready to make some history. The M1 Garand really hit its stride during World War II, and it quickly became the backbone of the U.S. infantry. That semi-automatic action gave American soldiers the firepower edge, firing up to 40 or 50 rounds per minute compared to the 15 to 20 of the bolt-action rifles like the German Mauser 98. The in-block clip allowed quick reloads, though the distinctive ping sound when the clip ejected became a wartime legend and a supposed tactical flaw, but that's mostly myth. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of Guadalcanal, the M1 did prove rugged and accurate and effective out to 500 yards, and I've seen them accurate out further than that. General George S. Patton famously called it the greatest battle implement ever devised, and soldiers loved its reliability in mud, sand, and snow. Over 4 million M1s were produced during the war by Springfield Armory and Winchester, with variants like the M1C, the M1D sniper models, adding telescopic sights for sharpshooting. The Garand's dominance helped the U.S. forces outgun enemies armed with much slower bolt actions, and it cemented its reputation as a definitive game changer. Now, after World War II, the M1 Garand remained the U.S. military's primary rifle during the Korean War, and it performed well in freezing conditions, though its weight of about 9.5 pounds and the 8-round clip capacity started to show limitations against newer designs. The M1 faced some competition from the Soviet AK-47, the US M14, a selective fire rifle introduced in 1959, and was essentially a Garand on steroids. By the 1960s, the M1 was phased out of active US service and replaced by the M14 and later the M16. Despite its retirement, the M1 did live on in some reserve units, National Guard arsenals, and foreign militaries. Countries like Italy, Japan, South Korea used licensed versions or surplus M1s, often rechambered for 7.62 by 51 NATO. The rifle also became a staple in military drills and ceremonies, its sleek lines and beautiful walnut making it a favorite for the parade grounds. Post-war, surplus M1 Garands flooded civilian markets, sparking a love affair among hunters and collectors and competitive shooters. The Civilian Marksmanship Program, or CMP, established to promote rifle proficiency, sold the M1s to civilians at bargain prices, certainly turning it into a household name. Its .30-06 cartridge was ideal for big game like deer and elk, and though some hunters modified it with aftermarket stocks or optics, their traditional design remains popular even to this day. In competitive shooting, the M1 dominated events like national matches where its accuracy and rapid fire did shine. Gunsmiths offered customizations, match-grade barrels, polished triggers, though purists prefer the original design. The Garand's durability made it a collector's darling, and rare variants like the M1D Sniper fetch pretty high prices. By the 1990s, the M1 was less common in hunting, but did remain a symbol of American craftsmanship and a jewel among collectors. Now, at the time of the making of this video, the Garand is no longer a frontline weapon, but it certainly thrives as a historical icon. The CMP continues to sell refurbished M1s, and the demand is pretty high among collectors and enthusiasts. Modern reproductions like the Beauty from Springfield Armory, which is the commercial company, not the original Armory, cater to shooters who want a Garand without the wear of a surplus model. The rifle is a mainstay in vintage military rifle competitions where its 8-round clip and iron sights test the shooter's skills. And I've seen a few shooters ring some steel to 1,000 with it open-sighted. I was there firsthand. Pretty impressive feat with a beautiful weapon. The M1's influence does persist in modern semi-auto designs, from the M14 to civilian rifles like the Ruger Mini 14. That gas-operated system inspired countless firearms for sure, and its in-block clip, while outdated, it certainly was a bold innovation. Collectors prize the M1 for original parts, especially wartime models, and restoration projects are a hobby unto themselves. The Garand's legacy, it's a blend of innovation and reliability and sheer historical weight, and few rifles can claim to have shaped a century of warfare and culture like the M1 Garand. So there you go. The M1 Garand's wild ride from John Garand's drawing board to the hands of the GIs and hunters and collectors. This semi-auto beast didn't just win wars, but it made bolt actions look like they were pedaling tricycles into a drag race. Whether it's that ping from that empty clip or the thud of that .30-06 round hitting home, that M1 is the rifle that keeps on giving. So the next time you're at the range polishing your Garand or just daydreaming about storming a hill, go ahead and tip your helmet to a century of American steel. Now go oil that action. Legends don't just clean themselves sitting around listening to history lessons. My name is Dwayne, this is Hunt Shoot Live, and this was some gun history.